Awesome. Everybody, welcome to another episode of Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship. Uh, awesome. All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship. I just want to make sure everyone is hearing me before I go too far. It looks like I may be having issues. So give a little bit of time to get everyone going, make sure they can hear me. Just want to test everyone hearing me fine?
I can hear you, brother.
Yeah, I can hear you. Shalom, Daryl. We were in the presentation at the beginning of the show, so.
Yeah, sorry about that.
All right.
Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, I think I am good to go. Thank you all for your patience. Anyways, welcome to the next episode. I'm really excited about this one. We'll go ahead and get into our introductions and then get into the story. So, I'll go ahead and throw it off to my brother as always. Anthony, how are you doing this fine Shabbat?
Man, I'm doing wonderful.
You're breaking up us on a little bit. If you want to
Shabbat
get
shalom
into
to
a
everybody.
Oh, there you go.
I hope everybody's had a wonderful week. Very sorry about that. Am I coming through okay now?
You're in and
Anyway,
out.
I wanted
You're in
to
and
say
out a little bit, but go
Shabbat
ahead.
shalom to everybody. I hope I'm coming through okay now. I'm not sure what's going on here. It hadn't done this all day for the last couple of days, and now all of a sudden it's going to mess up on me.
Totally, that's happened. You actually sound clear and like you're coming in good now. So go ahead, brother.
All right, I'm going to try this one more time. I want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone, and I hope everybody's week has gone wonderful, and I hope everybody's had many blessings throughout the week. And I'm happy everybody's here. Got a couple of announcements to make. Right quick, I just want to offer prayers to the people in Kentucky that went through the tornadoes and stuff like that, are experiencing adversity in their life right now. And I want to kind of extend my hand and our hand as Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship out to the people in Kentucky. And if they're dispersed or they need some help, hopefully that somebody in the group or we can personally help them ourselves. And I'm hoping that if anybody does need help, that you'll reach out to us, and hopefully we can somehow direct you to the help that you need. But we are praying for the people that are dispersed and that are going through hard times right now. We do pray for y'all. The other one I'd like to shout out our dear brother Sean Griffin at Kingdom in Context. Thank you very much for the shout out the other night. That meant a lot to me and to us. And just want to say that Sean, your dear brother to the Enclosed Cosmology Fellowship group. We love you, brother, and we kept keeping you in our prayers, brother. But other than that, I want to welcome everybody, and I hope everybody enjoys the show. And much love to everybody.
Awesome. Yes, indeed. And while I'm at it, before I get too far, I want to say shout out, obviously, Chris and Liz, again, always letting us use your platform to share our puzzle pieces with the community that y'all built. So we always are thankful for that. And don't forget to check out our Discord, guys. We have a Discord where we get together. We have conversations, not only chat, but also text form all throughout the week. It's a place where you can come and sharpen yourself, challenge yourself, but also learn from each other. So join us. The link is always in the description of the videos. But other than that, I'll go ahead and say Shabbat Shalom. Daryl, how are you doing, brother?
Oh, doing good. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And yeah, I just want to say hi and welcome and it's a pleasure being here. And Anthony, I wanted to say it was a pleasure hearing that your mom is doing really good. That really touched my heart today. And anyhow, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Thank you very much, Daryl. Thank you, Daryl. Shabbat shalom, brother.
Yes, awesome. Yes, good news indeed. All right, and I'll throw it over to Frankie. How you doing this evening, sir, brother?
The notorious Nimrod episode. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's get our Nimrod on.
Or Gilgamesh, as some might call him. So yeah, welcome to the 11th episode. Yeah, the man of many names. So today is episode 11. This is Gilgamesh. I hope y'all like the new little animation I did for y'all. I think it's pretty funny. Goes um, with the topic at hand and what we talked about as well in episode 10. So I hope y'all enjoy that. Anyways, so yeah, we're going to be talking about Gilgamesh. Now that name Gilgamesh comes directly from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which was found in some tablets. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up some information. Now, before I dive into this, was there anything that anyone wanted to bring up beforehand? And then do we know if our brother Jonathan was going to join us?
He already joined us, but jumped out. I don't know if
Maybe he's having
he
issues
probably
getting
couldn't
into
hear
the
us.
he might have been having issues getting into the actual channel. So Jonathan, if you can hear us, brother, please jump into like one of the chat channels and we can pull you in. Um, that will help you get on. But we'll continue for now, and hopefully we can get in. And then Daryl, try to get the mic a little bit closer. People are saying that they're having a little trouble hearing you, so just heads up. So, anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So, I'm going to share my screen. Let's pull this up. Boom. All right, so in this episode, we're going to go over a lot of the secular information. Last episode, we specifically looked at the Bible um, and other quote unquote apocryphal books for information about Nimrod. So this time, we're going to again be looking at the secular history and kind of drawing some connections here. So I think there's quite a bit of interesting connections. So. This is on Wikipedia under Gilgamesh. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. Obviously, the conversations we have here are little bit of research that we've done to kind of, to get you to appetize you. But we hope you go looking more to this stuff and do your own research and your own looking and seeing what other pieces of puzzles that you can pull out from your perspective that we each weren't able to do. So, anyways, So in this uh, story of Gilgamesh, we have there's actually quite a bit of information out there. Now he's in, as it says here, in numerous different tales about this hero Gilgamesh, and right here is a picture of the tablet in which they got this from. One of these stories of the Epic Gilgamesh. I believe there's actually multiple of the stories contained in this one. But anyways, so in this story, I'm gonna show you. This is a Spark note. This is just a full summary, real quick. I am gonna read this because this puts the Epic of Gilgamesh down. Now, I would suggest go read it. There's a lot more interesting thing in this, but this gives you a good kind of nutshell of the information. So, the Epic's Prelude offers
Eric,
a general. Oh, go ahead. What's up,
Eric,
brother?
it may be just on my end, but you're breaking up a little bit for me. But we also have Latter-day Saints and Jonathan in in the
Are they
uh,
here with us? Sorry, guys.
in the chat as well.
In the
Yeah.
chat
So
or
if
in
you
here
want
with
to,
us?
yeah, yeah, they
Oh, okay,
just jumped.
sweet. All right, yeah, because I
Yeah, they
just
were
I
just
just
a
got
little
into
bit
it, so
late
give
getting
me
here.
a second, guys, and we'll get y'all introduced. So let's go ahead and do that. And perfect. Okay, so yeah, before we go too further, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Latter-day Saints, and then Jonathan will introduce you. You'll give like a little bit of a testimony, include as much or little information, kind of what you want to share with the roundtable, um, and then um, and then we'll get your proverbial straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to biblical or enclosed cosmology. What was that kind of point that made you see the world differently? But before we get into that, I'll throw it over. Oh, it looks like we lost Jonathan again. So before we do that, I'll throw it over to Latter-day Saints. How you doing this fine Shabbat, brother?
Hey, bro, how you doing? I'm doing well. Just discovered a new place to get shrimp for really cheap at Sprouts, so happy with that. And just I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. Everything's going good this month. Um, Other than that, you know, I'm at a loss. I'm at a little bit of loss for words right now because we're in the shopping lot parking or the shopping center parking lot. So
Oh, no worries.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm
No, no,
glad
no.
I got you join us. This is definitely going to be a gravy-filled episode, so I hope you're
Thank you,
excited. But
bro.
I'm definitely
Absolutely.
glad you're with us.
Thank you, bro. I'm glad to be here.
Sweet. Okay. Well, it looks like we lost Jonathan. I'm not sure.
Said he's docking the trailer at the moment. He'll be right.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So I'll
He'll be,
awesome. Okay. So I'll kind of start getting into it, and then we'll take a pause when he gets back. Do that introduction, and then get back into it. Okay. Sounds good. Okay.
Cool.
Perfect. All right.
okay.
All right, so it says the Epic's Prelude offers a general introduction to Gilgamesh, king of Uruk, who was two-thirds god and one-third man. He built magnificent ziggurats or temple towers surrounded his city with high walls and laid out its orchards and fields. He was physically beautiful, immensely strong, and very wise. Although Gilgamesh was godlike in body and mind, he began his kingship as a cruel deposit. He lorded over his subjects, taking advantage. Oh wait, let me share the screen, guys. Sorry about that. Um, he lorded over his subjects, taking advantage of any woman who struck his fancy, whether she was the wife of one of his warriors or the daughter of a nobleman. He accomplished his building projects with forced labor, and his exhausted subjects groaned under his oppression. The gods heard his subjects' pleas and decided to keep Gilgamesh in check by creating a wild man named Enkidu. who was as magnificent as Gilgamesh. Enkidu became Gilgamesh's great friend, and Gilgamesh's heart was shattered when Enkidu died of an illness inflicted by the gods. Gilgamesh then traveled to the edge of the world and learned about the days before the deluge and other secrets of the god and recorded them on stone tablets.
Where is this coming from, brother?
This is from the
Just right quick.
Epic of Gilgamesh. That is from this stone right here.
I got you. All right. I thought that sounded familiar. I've never read that all through, but I know a lot of the history does come from the Epic of Gilgamesh, and it's really interesting.
So I
As
kind
soon
of
as people start together, it
mhm.
it becomes even more interesting.
No, absolutely.
Now, do
So
you think when he Vader? Do you think when he went to the end of the world, he went to Antarctica?
yeah, I think so. And what I actually thought when I was reading about this was when he goes to the edge of the world is what do all the world leaders do?
Yeah, yeah,
So what if there is like a stone out there that Gilgamesh made that has all the secrets and they like those who are privileged get to go out and read from this stone and learn these secrets?
yeah, yeah. It's interesting.
Well, I mean, it talks about in Jubilees that somebody found some writings on a cave on the wall or something like that. I don't really want to jump into that too terribly much because I'm not super learned on it, but sorry, but yeah, I I I kind of find that somebody ran across something with this knowledge.
Well, of course, because like literally think about how many world leaders go to Antarctica. It's kind of weird. It's like there's a reason why they go there. And furthermore, it's like they show us in the movies all the time that they have secret artifacts and hidden stuff that they don't show us that's hidden. You know what I mean? So we know they do those type of things. And it wouldn't surprise me if not only like maybe there's stone tablets there that they found, but also, you know, like that they brought back, and so that's how they kind of know about this in the first place. But maybe more information is available in the ones in Antarctica. But anyways, that's definitely something that's interesting. And but I wanted to bring up another thing. Is how remember how you were reading in the Targum how it kind of added that qualifier of like it was saying he was a mighty sinner, right? And
Yeah,
we look at his
he says.
huh?
Sorry. It says he became mighty in sin.
Y-
That's what it says.
Yeah,
He
and so like
became mighty.
yeah, and so like in listening to this, like or like reading kind of this out, like he built these towers and temples. Weird that sounds familiar. And then it's talking about like his ego, his physical beauty. He was super strong, super very wise, you know, and he lorded over his subjects. You know, this is using that kind of word I shouldn't say on YouTube, but taking advantage of women, any of them, whether they were wife of his warrior, like he didn't care who, and then forcing people through forced labor to build these things. Like these are all checking the marks of this, you know, very, you know, egotistical kind of selfish person. And it's gonna get more interesting than this because there's actually more different stories of Gilgamesh, and we're gonna get into those here in a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to show kind of a summary of that. Um, and please interrupt me if Jonathan jumps on. I just don't want to miss him because I'm talking.
He's
So
actually, but he said he was docking a trailer.
okay.
He probably has his mic muted at the moment.
Yeah, no worries. Jonathan, whenever you're ready, brother, just let me know, and I'll pause real quick and kind of let you do that, and then we can continue on.
Hey, Vader, I just wanted to say something
Oh, what's up, bro?
about how you said that they may go to Antarctica to read these tablets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have a bunch. I just remember from watching a bunch of videos of like, all the presidents have gone to the Wailing Wall
Mm-hmm. That as
in
well.
Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
It might be symbolic like that. I don't know. Just
Oh,
something to think
that's
about.
interesting. Yeah.
And all the presidents who've gone there, they put on the yarmulke, but some of them claim they're Christians, some of them claim they're Catholics,
And they all
but they all go there.
and they all hump the wall.
Yep, they all do. They all go there and touch it and pray on it.
No, they literally hump it. They like rock back and
Yeah,
forth.
yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, it's so weird. I completely
Right,
agree.
got a question in the chat. Who was Enkidu? Says, I don't mean was he Nimrod's friend made by fallen angels. I mean, who else is he in history?
Okay, so we can kind of look into that. I'm looking from the other perspective. Now, Sean Griffith from Kingdom of Context. He brought up some interesting points, tying it to Hermes, i.e., Hades, and Anubis, which I see those ties. Those are very interesting things, and I have some more information about Enkidu, and that's actually what I'm going to jump into now. So, in that epic that we just read, we learned that. That to keep Gilgamesh in check, they created this man Enkidu. Okay, the gods did. But then the gods also killed Enkidu with an illness. So they made him, then killed him, and this made Gilgamesh really, his heart, it says his heart was shattered. Okay, so Enkidu, and I'm actually going to kind of read this to kind of set the stage. Enkidu, a legendary quote unquote hero, originally appeared in the Sumerian literature compositions, which were incorporated with alterations in the Adekian Epic of Gilgamesh. Indiku's name has been variously interpreted as identical with the deity Enki-Madu, or meaning Lord of the Reed Marsh, or Enki has created in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Enkidu is a wild man created by the god Anu, and we're going to talk about this here in a little bit. After Gilgamesh defeats him, the two become friends. In some versions, Enkidu becomes Gilgamesh's servant. He aids Gilgamesh in killing the divine bull sent by the god Ishtar to destroy them. The gods then kill Enkidu in revenge, prompting Gilgamesh to search for immortality. Ooh, immortality. So,
Right quick,
mhm.
Jonathan's having trouble hearing us. We got to figure out we got to get his speaker turned on so he can hear us.
If he's having trouble hearing us, and he
I
was
think
before, now we
in
didn't we
the
didn't change anything.
yeah, when we move people over, it kills their
Did
speaker.
you move him
We have
over?
I did.
Oh, okay. Let's do this.
Yeah, make him a mod
Yeah,
so
I'll
that
just
he can
make him a
just come
mod.
in here.
Tell him, Jonathan, leave and then just come back in here by yourself. Let's go, Rose. Okay. And then
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay.
I
It's okay. Um, so
kind of
anyways,
hoping to square it away before we got into the gravy, but
okay, well, yeah, I can pause on this.
Yeah, that's really
hear
good
us.
news about your mom too, Anthony. I'm really happy to hear that. You should give the testimony, like an update on how she's doing while we're waiting for Jonathan.
Yeah, that's cool. If you want to give an update on moms while we work it.
That's awesome, bro.
All right, well, somebody text him and tell him what he needs to do right quick.
Totally.
And mom, she went to the hospital a couple days ago. They said her lung was full of fluid. She was supposed to have surgery, and when they looked a little closer, they found out that it was like around her lung, but it was about to make her lung collapse. and so they drained off the fluid that was around her lung, and now she's feeling a lot better and able to talk. But what they drained the fluid off was to keep her lung from collapsing, and she said her back was hurting today, and she had taken a pain pill, which she rarely does. I know she can't stand pain pills, but she was in a lot of pain with her back, and she took one of those, and far as I know, she's still sleeping and resting. But I want to thank everybody for your prayers about Mom and her healing and everything. She's going through a really rough time. But she's really, really tough. She's a really strong person, and I just want to thank everybody for your prayers and concerns, and I know it's helped her a whole lot. Thank y'all.
Hey, Anthony, I just wanted to say something. Remember, I told you if you can get a chance, even to have her sit on a chair outside and just get her feet in that earth for like an hour, it'll start regenerating the white blood cells, which helps with the healing process and with your immune system.
Right. Well, we got to get her out of a hospital bed first, but
Okay.
I'm definitely going to do that for
Okay.
sure. Thank you.
Okay, bro. Thank you, bro.
And also, right quick, Latter-day Saints, man. I heard that song you dropped the other day, man. It's pretty far out, man. That's awesome.
Thank you, bro.
Man. Look, man,
which one are you talking about?
The one with the Rodney Dangerfield one.
Oh, Flatney Dangerfield.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Thank you. I get no respect. You know what I mean?
I don't do any of us really.
Right.
Man, we're not asking for respect. All we're doing
Right.
here is trying to spread the word, brother. We're trying to spread the good news of the kingdom. And brother,
That's right.
you're doing, man, because you're a very, very talented person. And the people that scoff at you, man, let them scoff, brother. They're just jealous of your talent.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, Jonathan is with us and he can hear us now, so that's all cleared up. So just to kind of reiterate for everyone as well as Jonathan, go ahead and give us a testimony as big or small as you'd like, and then that one kind of thing that switched your mind from heliocentric to more lines geocentric. But anyways, I'll let you say hi to everyone and then kind of go through that.
All right. Thank you very much for having me here and for the community here. It's been a blessing. So, my story is I grew up in a pretty religious family, very, very devout evangelical Christians. And we were homeschooled. My mom homeschooled us growing up, so we never got that wonderful brainwashing from the public schools. So I missed that indoctrination. Well, I mean, I missed it, but I don't miss it, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, of course, we were still taught, the Earth's a globe and space and all that. So that's what I knew growing up. But I grew up with a very strong emphasis on reading the Bible, going to church, and that following God was very important to living how you should live. And I mean, I just went along with it just to fit in pretty much. I never really took it that seriously. And like my dad, he was he's like an old school disciplinarian. Like he really believed in uh, spare the rod, spoil the child. And like if we were disobedient to him, that was basically we were disobedient to God. And it was a very my way or the highway kind of uh, upbringing. But it wasn't like completely that way. It was that way for me because I was uh, very rebellious. Like if I did something wrong and I was punished, uh, I became more obstinate, and so I was basically a parent's nightmare. Um, and I mean, yeah. So like, I joined the Navy after I finished high school, and um, I went off and did my own thing, you know. And while I was in the Navy, um, I started, I got into uh, conspiracy stuff, watching documentaries. I looked into 9/11, like all of the conspiracies, and including Christianity. I I basically took pretty much everything I knew and believed and examined it, and most of it was destroyed. And I don't know. I didn't. I was just lost, man. I did a lot of drinking and just a lot of gaming. I had no purpose. I had no passion. And all my relationships had pretty much died by the time I joined the Navy and left. So I was pretty alone. I didn't know how to be a friend. I didn't know how to think of anyone but myself. And I was not happy. It's like I tried to uh I tried to get those dopamine hits from learning a new conspiracy theory and getting into how evil society is, and it's like I didn't want to take responsibility for my own life. But I wouldn't say I was atheist. I mean,
More like
but
agnostic, like you believed in a creator, but you just like to you at that time, like all the religions were just a part of the conspiracy or part, like they all were part of the control matrix.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was like, I don't know about a personal God because I've never encountered God. I've never encountered Yeshua. Like, it wasn't personal to me. Maybe for other people it was, but all I knew was loneliness, disappointment. I never saw any miracles. So yeah, it was just like I was like people just believe that to feel good and to try to gain purpose. So yeah, like uh, I pretty much squandered my military career. I didn't care about advancement. Like I thought it was just a dumb game. I thought like I grew to resent some of the officers and leaders I served under, because it's like they just weren't what I would call leaders. Um, they were corrupt, and I didn't. And the few ones that were good, they despised me because they saw like I had no work ethic. I had no passion for hardly anything. And um, yeah, I did my 5 years and I got out. And um, yeah, man, I mean, I was aware of by then I knew the moon landing was a hoax. Like that was certain in my mind that NASA faked the moon landing and the space as we knew it well, I didn't think space was fake, but like I didn't believe the planets were real because they look fake to me, and the globe Earth didn't. It looked fake to me too. But I didn't really look into flat Earth. I just was like, they're hiding the real photo of Earth. Um,
What was
and
what was the
go ahead.
main what was the main thing that brought your attention to NASA being fake, or at least the moon landings being fake?
Or just the
What?
flat Earth in general? Like, what was like? So you were into conspiracies and stuff, but what was like I don't know. Did you believe the moon landing was fake before you believed in flat Earth? Or
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
okay,
Like it was when I was in the Navy, and I'd spent so many hours online watching documentaries and looking into stuff, and that's when I found out like I mean stuff about the moon landing that didn't add up, and uh, NASA's photos of Earth, and I remember bringing it up to people like that these photos of Earth from space don't look real, and that didn't go over too well. So I kind of just was like, that's not what we're talking about. I just, um, but that red pilled me, and I think it laid the groundwork for flat Earth. And I mean, during that time, I do remember someone online telling me that the Earth was flat, and I was like, nah, that's crazy. Like that was a little too far for me. Um, but man, like, um, I ended up like, uh, pretty much just running my life into the ground, and I ended up homeless. Um, and far away from any family or friends. And eventually, I just like I humbled myself and just like called my dad and just asked for a second chance if I could come back and start over. And I mean, he let me come back and have another chance at doing life again. And at first, it was rough, but I mean, I had to eat a lot of humble pie and realize that I've been doing things wrong, and I need to try something else. And yeah, like I mean, I eventually found trucking school and got my CDL. And during that time, I I worked through my issues with my dad because like I was very bitter about stuff during my childhood, and I wanted to hold that over his head uh, and just I wanted to feel righteous and vindicated that you ruined my childhood, you ruined my life. I wanted to be a victim basically, and um, but you can't heal if you're bitter. And I had to forgive everyone. I had to forgive my dad, myself, and um, I had to let God pretty much take over uh, and clean me. Like I had to give him the stuff that I was hiding, and so that was nice. I
isn't that
realized that
such
my
a light burden when you're able to do
oh
that? Like all
man,
that stuff you hold on to, and you feel like that somehow by holding on to it, it makes you feel secure. But then when you really give it up to the Father, it's like it's literally when he says my yoke is light. It's like it, it's so beautiful.
yes, it was a beautiful moment. Like um, just telling my dad, I forgive you, and like I mean when Jesus died on the cross, like all of that was forgiven and washed away. Like who am I to hold anything against another person? I mean, so so yeah, and it was about, I'd say, 5 or 6 months into uh, being a truck driver that I found myself back in flat Earth. It was, I don't really know how I think it was 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. I found it on YouTube, and I mean, of course, I knew about Eric Dubay, but yeah, I guess I got back into it, but I didn't know all of the proof, and I still didn't connect it to the Bible. But it was, listening to the chats and hearing these people talk about how the cosmology of the Bible is not it's not a globe, it's not space, it is enclosed. There's a firmament, a dome container, and the earth is flat. It's stationary. And there's various verses in the Bible. There's actually a lot of them that go over various descriptions of the earth. And so even at times when I did not believe and I just was like, I don't want anything to do with God or whatever, I had to admit the Bible was solid, and it like it was more detailed in what the earth was than anything else I could find as far as religion or spiritual text I could find. So that always kept me where I would take the Bible seriously. I had to admit there was something there. And yeah, it's really just been in the last couple of weeks that I just been like, I had to give the Father my doubts that I had, and just say, I mean, I'm gonna burn these doubts on the altar for you, because I mean, it was the most precious gift I could think to give the Father is my doubts.
Mm-hmm.
And because I really liked my intellectual mind that was logical, and that, I mean, I was right. I was like, I'm right about this stuff.
How like you could
And
literally convince yourself that you could almost outthink God.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was in love with my own mind, and the Bible is pretty clear that like our wisdom is like trash to God. And and so yeah, I had to do that and just focus on getting to know the Creator.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I want. That's my desire, to know the Creator,
Awesome.
and uh to introduce others to this love. And I mean, I don't know if I'll ever be able to convince or to talk to my family about flat Earth. Uh, I mean, I'll know when I'm able to, but like, I'm not gonna force it and push them away.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, that's kind of my story and what I've been through.
That's awesome. So if you had to sum it up real quick, like what your that changing point when this evidence or thought came to your head, what was it that like broke that proverbial, proverbial camel's back? Like what piece of evidence?
Well, for me, it was water. Water. I never really thought about the properties of water, the physics of it. Like, I mean, I guess it could curve around a globe, but I never really observed water. And I mean, it's obvious that water is flat,
Mm-hmm.
and and I mean, you can measure it and it doesn't curve. So I was like, all right, so if water's flat and most of the surface of Earth is water,
How
it's
is it a
gotta
ball?
be exactly.
Yeah, how can all these straight lines, how can 73% of something be a straight line and a ball?
Like,
Yes. And and also the firmament, because I was like, uh the firmament, like when I see the stars, when you look at them through like a high powered camera or a
Hmm.
telescope, you see the stars and it's like shimmering luminescence like water. I mean, like a light that's underwater. So I
Hmm.
was like, so when it says there's a firmament separating the water below from the water above, I was like, yeah, I mean, that's exactly what I'm seeing up there.
Observation meets like this is saying this, and I'm observing exactly that.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
Nice.
So
Awesome.
I was like, all right, the Bible's on point. I'm all in. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much for that. That was definitely a blessing. I hope everyone else enjoyed Jonathan's testimony as I did. Did anyone want to say something real quick before we get back into the main topic?
yes, I would if y'all can hear me right quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think Latter Day Saints does as well. But right quick, Jonathan, I want to read something to you in a book that I just received in the mail today. It's called the Greek Septuagint, and this is reading from Genesis chapter 1, starting in verse 6. And it says, "And God said, let a firmament come into being in the midst of the water, and let a separator be in the midst of the water. And so it happened, and God made the firmament, and God made a separation in the midst of the waters that was under the firmament, and in the midst of the waters that was upon the firmament. And God named the firmament heaven, and God saw that it was good, and there was evening and there was morning the second day." I just want to kind of bring up uh, kind of 2 points. One is how literal this particular translation is of Genesis 1 6 through 8, and also how people just miss the entire second day creation. You can basically walk up to just about anybody in public and mention the firmament, and they have no idea what you're talking about. And y'all spent an entire day creating this thing, and yet it's just skipped over. It's like it's not even heard of. It's not even looked into
Hmm.
in most of Christianity or other religions, or even just in secular everyday speaking. Everybody knows that yes, Yah created the light and Yah created the heavens and the earth. But what was the next thing he created? It's like he's just skip all the way over to God created man.
Well, yeah, and
Like,
I've actually ran into a lot of people when I say, like I say, okay, in the beginning, he's when he said, "Let there be light," what was that? And most people I talk to, most Christians say the sun. And I was like, no, the sun's not created till the fourth day. So
right.
yeah, that's really interesting. Glad you shared that. That was cool. Did you want to add something in there, Flatter?
Yeah, just to lighten the mood a little. You said you asked people about the firmament. I asked the guys at Kaiser Permanente, how high is this guy's Permanente? No, but I was thinking, when you read that Bible passage, Anthony, it just hit me that words have so many meanings, and when night comes, you're evening out the day. Because if it was all daylight all the time, like me and you discussed the other day, how our Lord made the sun stop, right? And and then it made me think about something you said. You said if that were to happen often, it would throw off everything on Earth. If it was daylight for if it was sun for 24 hours or 72 hours or whatever, it would throw off everything. And the opposite of throwing off everything is evening everything, a perfect balance, and that's what evening is. That's what I got out of it. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And you bring up a very big topic, and that's talked about in Joshua chapter 10, verse 12 through 14. Could you imagine the chaos that would have happened if the earth was actually spinning and revolving around the sun and traveling through so-called space and the galaxy, going all these ungodly directions all at the same time? So if we really look at it, it's four directions at once, and yet we feel nothing. We feel no movement whatsoever, unless we have an earth or something like that. But yeah, can you imagine the chaos that would have happened in Joshua 10, 12 through 14 if this was actually a spinning globe?
Dude, I've heard pastors say two different things. Two different pastors from two different so-called Christian churches that have globes as their logo. You know, one's Victory Outreach and one's Calvary Chapel. And I can't remember which one said which, but one of them actually told me. I remember because when we were talking about it, you really brought a lot of. Because when I was 20 years old, I lived with the pastor of Victory Outreach for a year, and we have to get up every morning at 5 a.m, pray for an hour, read the Bible for an hour, and then do a Bible study for an hour. Then I went to school of ministry, learned about theology, exegesis, hermeneutics. So I'm pretty well versed in the Bible. But like you've really been motivating me to crack it open again. My girlfriend just bought a really nice one from Barnes and Noble that it's like color coded and it's like it has like a purple leather. It's really anyway. Um, I've heard two pastors give two different explanations for that, and one of them is that Yeshua stopped the sun and the moon and all the heavens, right? But the earth was still spinning. And the other one's like, oh no, he just made the earth stop. Everything else was still. It was like all, and then other ones have said, oh, that's just a metaphor. It's just like, why? How could you say you're not going to use something like that? Just like it, just like the fig tree where they say I saw stars fall from the heaven like fig trees. Oh, that's just a metaphor, but you're not going to use a double. That's a double metaphor, which would cancel out itself and negate itself, therefore making it not a metaphor. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I'd also like to bring up. I can't remember the exact chapter and verse, but Second Samuel talks about also the sun moving backwards. The sundial moved backwards. So check this one out, okay? Not only does the earth have to stop spinning and revolving and shooting through space in four directions at once, no, it's got to stop and immediately go backwards. It's got to
Yeah,
all and reverse itself for about a half a day, and then stop again and start back up the right way again. That right there, that heliocentric version of how we've been taught in school, how it all works. It doesn't work according to scripture, and it's like a slap in the face that when we realize, look at the nonsense that we actually believed in. You know, this no wonder everybody is so far from Yeshua right now. It's like,
yeah.
okay, well, this green card, this green path. Now we can do whatever we want to do, and we're forgiven for our sins as long as we believe in Yeshua. But that's not what Yeshua taught.
Yeah, Effed Up World. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but Effed Up World posted a video last week about the eclipse. I think it was in 2016 or 2017 that went across the United States, and the shadow of the moon goes backwards, like you were saying, and it's right there. Like they couldn't hide that with chemtrails. The shadow of the moon went backwards the opposite way it was supposed to go across the United States. You guys can look up the video. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it in other videos too. But yeah, just like you're saying, it went backwards. So completely defies everything they say. I don't even know what the mainstream explanation for that was, but
Well,
Yeah, it's crazy. But hey, I don't want to interrupt too much, but we are getting pretty crazy off topic. So I
yeah,
kind of want to wrangle it and bring it back and kind of get into the main topic. I'd love to have a more open discussion at the end, but I just want to at least make sure I have enough time to get through all this information. So thank you
Yeah,
for that.
I wanted to,
Go ahead.
I wanted to just say a quick thank you to Jonathan. Um, yeah, for your testimony there, and part of it jumped out to me about us leaning to our own understanding, you know, trying to figure it out on our own, and that really jumped out on me because I do that a lot. I gotta take. Anyhow, thank you for sharing that, Jonathan.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it indeed. Okay, so bring this up again. So just to go over it a little bit, we read the summary of the Epic of Gilgamesh, and then in that we learned about Enkidu. We learned about Enkidu. He was a god. Uh, he was a wild man created by Anu, and him and Gilgamesh had a wrestling match, and they became friends, and he helps Gilgamesh kill this divine bull, which is very interesting. We'll get into that. And goddess Ishtar ends up killing him for that Enkidu. So this leads to, and we've talked about before, this search for immortality, and this is one of the first like kind of literature pieces, and we're already talking about this subject. So I want to switch over real quick and just kind of show you some imagery. So what I'm showing here on the screen is a couple depictions of this god Anu. Now, in this picture on the left here, it looks like more like a Greek style. He has two wings. He has like a goblet on his head. He has like these bars coming kind of from his chest. It almost looks like he's like crutches almost. But then there's a snake on one, and you got a skull with a scythe laying there. And I think this is all interesting stuff. We'll get into it when we kind of learn about this god. But then we have this other depiction in more like a Sumerian style cultural depiction of him. And we see on this one, we actually see the four wings conjoined. We see the same kind of imagery of something on top of his sun, of his head. To me, this one looks more like a sun. The goblet is interesting. To me, I want to bring up real quick because this is like kind of a known symbol for like for immortality, and he's directly connected to um, Gilgamesh. So, anyways, so I take a real quick pause here on the wings. Do y'all know uh, how angels' wings are described in Scripture? Anyone?
Please enlighten us, brother.
They're literally described as four wings conjoined. Okay, so now that I kind of give you an image of him, let's kind of learn about this anew. I'm kind of read some of this stuff from a various few places to kind of give you a general idea, and it's very interesting. So okay, so Anu, Sumerian. Um, Mesopotamian sky god and a member of the triad of deities competed by Enlil and Ea. Inky. Like most sky gods, Anu, although theoretically the highest god, played only a small role in the mythology, hymns, and cultures of Mesopotamia. He was the father of not only all the gods, but also the evil spirits and demons, most predominantly the demoness Lamastu, who preyed on infants. Anu, also the god of kings and of the yearly calendar, he is typically depicted in a headdress with horns, a sign of strength. His Sumerian counterpart An dates from the oldest Sumerian period, at least 3000 BC. Originally, he seems to have envisioned as a great bull, a form later disassociated from the god as a separate mythological entity, the Bull of Heaven, which was owned by An. His holy city was Uruk in the southeastern region, and bovine imagery suggests he belongs originally to the herder's pantheon. In the Akkadian myth, Anu was assigned as a consort but she seems often to be confused with Ishtar, the celebrated goddess of love. So I just want to show you something. His holy city was Uruk. Okay, let's go back to Gilgamesh.
Well, how about let's go back to last week also when you're talking
Let me
about
pull
these
this up.
cities.
hmm
You're talking about these cities. Uh, is that not kind of in conjunction with what I was saying last week about the Tower of Babel was just a part of a city.
Oh,
Nimrod had
totally. Oh, totally.
several cities.
Yeah.
Uh,
But what I'm pointing out is, look here, where Gilgamesh is the king of Uruk, and Anu, his holy city was Uruk. So not only is Uruk have a signature, the Great Bull, Anu was also known as the Great Bull. His sign in Sumerian, the Mesopotamian, was a headdress of horns, a sign of strength. The symbol, the Aleph, the symbol of kind of Yah in a way of like the Father, is a symbol of a bull. And then we know Baal and all that, and we're gonna get into that here in just a little bit. But here's this other picture again. I kind of wanted to read over this again, or this part as well. So this says, Anu was known as the Lord of Heavens. He was the ruler of the sky. Who also is the ruler of the sky?
the evil one.
And translated as heaven as had associated with thunder rolling across the skies and cause of storms, having complete control of the skies. Anu was the highest god and father to all gods, including all the demons and evil spirits. He was the god of kings. His symbol of him depicted in a headdress with horn represented strength. Anu's symbol was associated with the bull and was seen as the bull of heaven. Although as he is the king of gods, he had a very little play in cult stories and mythology of Mesopotamians. The holy city of Anu is Uruk, a summer civilization. The city was the main force of civilization during the period of 4000 to 3200 BC. This city was constructed on temples that served as religious functions and showed gratitude and worship to their gods. Canal system connected the Euphrates River. Evidence shows that the city was once alive and is known as Anu's holy city. Anu is the same relation in role play as Zeus, the king of the skies in Greek mythology. Boom! Oh my gosh, look at this. We got another connection of this. Okay, now moving a little bit on. This I just wanted to show this picture, some more depictions of that from that period, and
Right
then
quick.
okay, go ahead.
Are, are you talking about we have another connection to the 1800s mud flood type thing not being a great reset?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the mud floods, the supposed 1800s, 1890s, whatever mud flood that everybody keeps saying is the Great Reset. That there was some sort of a great reset that happened because now
Uh,
we have all these buildings and wonderful structures and all this stuff, and then boom, there was nothing.
I
Did
just don't get what like I totally get the what you're talking about the Great Reset. I just don't get where it was connected to what I was bringing up.
I'm talking about the cities. I'm talking about the cities that you're talking about.
Oh yeah, there's tons of cities everywhere, and we all know these were highly sophisticated civilizations. So yeah, I've already at least said it before. I don't think the mud floods are a thing that are described by other people. I totally think that most of those events were caused probably from the Tower of Babel, as well as other natural events that have happened over time that can cause liquefaction. So I don't know. I don't really prescribe to that. But there is some interesting points to it. Like the San Francisco thing is kind of interesting. But to be honest, I haven't done that much research into San Francisco and those buildings to really say for sure whether they were there or not, or how those pictures were taken. I
Well,
think a lot of assumption is taken with those, but
it doesn't take a whole lot of research to know that something happened. It's just when it happened is what we're trying to figure out. But what I'm
Well,
getting at the whole thing is this great reset thing that happened at the Tower of Babel, not in 1800 or 1900. People didn't build these structures using only horse and buggy. Some way or another that somebody built these structures that we cannot rebuild today. But something happened at some point throughout our timeline that caused a somewhat great reset. And what I'm trying to say is that happened at the Tower of Babel, and it all goes back to Nimrod and the confounding of language and the destruction of the tower.
uh, Vader, what's the timeline on this?
uh,
On
from
Gilgamesh?
from what they're saying, it's around. I just read it. Give me a second. I'll bring it back. Around
Like
4,000 to
500 BC?
no 400 to 3,200 BC. 4,000 to 30.
3,200 years before
Yeah.
Christ.
Mhm.
I was just
Yeah, so
watching a program.
That's
uh,
that's that's what secular is saying, right? Like we all know that we can't really trust times and dates of things. But this is what at least secular history is saying. But
Right quick, Daryl had a statement.
go ahead, Daryl.
Oh, I was talking about the timeline. I was just watching a program that guy had pretty good evidence all over the world that were like had it like 700 years to 1,000 years added on to us. I'll see if I can find that. But yeah, it was pretty convincing.
yeah, there's a theory going around that there's been 1,000 years added on our timeline. We're really around the either 1,000 years after Christ or 1,200.
Well,
Yeah, we have no
Or
idea.
1,100.
the only thing we don't really know about is after the time of the New Testament. Whenever the New Testament was written, all the books in it and all that stuff, we don't necessarily have an exact timeline from the end of Revelation up until today. However, we do have a timeline from Adam all the way up until the book of Revelation.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we know, like, they don't keep like, we don't have like a record after Yeshua of all the people. You know what I mean? Like they had before.
Yeah, I was thinking there could have been like more than one great reset. Like we had one at the Tower of Babel, but then we might have had another one after that about these 700 years they're talking about where they're trying to take over Christianity and create it to their own doctrine, to get power over everybody, and they wiped out all the Christians and killed killed a lot of Muslims and all kinds of people that didn't bend to their doctrine. So I think maybe they added the 700 years in there somewhere.
Well, I'm
No, it's
not.
called the Dark Ages.
I'm
That
not. Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead, Frank.
it's called the Dark Ages, meaning that it's a dark period that it's fake. They just added on. They just added a one in front of the 800. It was probably 800 BC, and they added a one to it, made it 1800, added 1,000 years. Because there's a lot of artifacts that have an I or a J in front of the year. where
Right.
the I would look like a 1, and then they just flipped it and changed it to 1800 or 1756, or you know what I mean? So there's
I,
a lot of
I was thinking
manipulation going on.
maybe there was a lot of technology that we had at that point in time where all these buildings and stuff, they killed so many people, and they just kept like children alive and stuff to where they could indoctrinate them to teach them the history that they wanted. Because
Hey,
there was definitely. Go
sorry, I
ahead.
didn't mean to cut you off. Oh,
That's
I was just gonna say is I heard on Discord the other day. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he brought up something that was really interesting, and he was saying that he has an old Bible. I don't know how old it is, but it has actually timelines going all the way back from when Genesis was made, and he says that in 1492 BC is when Moses parted the Red Seas in 1492 BC. And so you know how they like to flip it and do everything the opposite. So and then we got the 1492 AD, and you guys know all about the 1492 thing. Just
I,
something interesting. I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard that or not.
I actually have heard that concept, and I'm not against it. However, it still goes against the what is it, 65.5 billion-year-old Earth,
Oh well,
whatever
yeah,
name.
yeah,
It it's still within that 7 to 10,000 year old Earth. Now,
yeah, most definitely.
I will agree that we don't know exactly what year we in, and it's a possibility that they put a 1 in front of where we're actually at. I disagree with it, but it's a possibility. Um, but yes, I have looked into that a little bit, and it still holds true to the possibly 10,000-year-old Earth. And so, yeah, if somebody got some dates wrong, that it's highly possible. And also, um, yeah, the Bible itself gives us a very accurate timeline anyway. Even if it's not drawn out, we can read it out. It's a very, very accurate timeline.
Well, okay. So I was thinking. I think I don't know if it was Daryl or Frankie who just said it about um, you know possibly wiping out a civilization of adults and re-indoctrinating the children. And so I was thinking. So they said in every 100 years they celebrate that 1492 anniversary, right? So in 1892, Chicago World Fair, where electricity was first introduced to the world, right? So if sometime around that time they wiped out a lot of adults somehow, I mean, I'm just speculating here, but and then they had all these children indoctrinated. Think about this: if civilizations since the beginning of time have all known the Earth is flat, right? How would you couldn't just start teaching all the kids in school that the Earth is a globe because then their parents would disagree with it. So, but long story short, you wipe
Actually,
out the.
they started indoctrinating as soon as the public education system came out, because that was not a thing. Like typically before in American cities, you would have a group of parents get together and say, "Oh, yeah, will you teach our children?" And that typically happened at the church. And that's why it was called Sunday school. But when the government introduced the public education system, well, then all of a sudden the children were going away from the homes and going to a place, and that's where they first started introducing the heliocentric model, because we have newspapers showing specifically that like less, like 100 years ago, that there were people saying, hey, these people, these teachers are teaching our children that the world is a ball.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the church, the Catholic Church, the Jesuits introduced the globe theory, and
I absolutely.
it was
then the
at
government got involved.
church. It was introduced by the Pope. He hired Copernicus to develop a representation of Earth that except not of the actuality of Earth, but something opposite of it. It was absolutely the Pope that hired Copernicus, and Copernicus is the one that came up with the
Yeah,
helios that we live
it
by.
had.
Yes,
Yeah,
looked
ahead.
into that quite a bit, and it's 100% true. It was Catholicism that hired somebody, an outside conformator, or whatever it's called, consortium. They hired
Consultant.
outside consortium, so the Catholics,
I very
the
seriously doubt he was already outside of the church anyways
No,
at that
it had
time.
to come from the church. It had to come from the church because the
he was
church,
he was an
everyone.
outside consortium, and that way the Catholic Church would not be held responsible for when that lie became a lie.
All right.
I totally agree with everything you guys said. Let me just reiterate and finish my point. So yeah, absolutely. So the thing is, if your means of travel to tell people in other parts of the world was by boat, by the time you got there and then spread your doctrine and then left or whatever and tried to go to another place, you could get overthrown. So my whole point was I'm making is how they introduced electricity in 1892, which is a very significant date for them. Well, supposedly around 1865 is when they came out with the undersea cable for telegraph service, right? So you think about it, there's no way you could really, I don't think there's any way that the heliocentric lie would stick without the electricity or without the telegraph, because you need to spread it in all these areas very rapidly and quickly. Does that make sense?
I want to bring up one thing that I actually kind of skipped over, and I'm glad you brought that back up
And
about the.
I would like to get back to the presentation, so if you would do so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, about the electricity. But in whatever you said, 1892 or late 1800s, very late 1800s, it was Nikola Tesla that introduced free electricity. See, electricity had already been around, but Nikola Tesla was introducing quote unquote free electricity. He was going to give light to every home in the world for free. But the establishment, like Thomas Edison, he he did not like the idea that his bank account was going to start dwindling if we started using AC power.
Yeah,
So
totally. Yeah.
Tesla eventually died alone in his home and broke. And uh, when he basically on the day of his death is when the energy companies and the Masons all swarmed his house and took everything he owned and pretty much hid it away from the public so that the industry could quote unquote make money off of it.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, there's so much corruption. It's crazy. But anyways, let's go on to that onto the kind of the presentation. So we were just learning about a new kind of some interesting things about him. Here's like a depiction of him. Go through the picture real quick. But what I wanted to kind of pull up real quick about this, because there's quite a amount of good, interesting information to check out. Y'all should check out this website. And there's also quite a other interesting about some other gods as well. So, anyways,
Hey, what is like, brother? I can't see it.
oh, it's just so what I'm pointing out here is it goes on to say that he had in literature, later literature, that he had some children. One of those children is Nurgle. Those that are familiar with Kingdom and Context, he has brought up this character, and we're going to dive into him as well. But he's also referred to as having daughters, including this first one we're going to talk about, Ishtar. So
Trader Bear, what is the website? I can't see it, brother.
it's called orec.museum.upenn.edu. It's not like it's like a museum website with information. But
Hey
anyways,
Vader.
go
Hey
ahead.
Vader, Nick's on here. You want to let him say hi?
Yeah, go ahead and Nick, say hi to everyone.
I'm sorry.
Hey,
Shabbat shalom, Nick. Sorry.
hey, good to talk to you guys. And real quick, Vader, I got a quick little present to the group. if you don't mind me going.
Oh, what's up, brother?
It's just a little rap in honor of the round table. I think you guys will really like it. It'll take 2 seconds. We can do it now or wait till after the
Oh,
presentation.
go ahead, brother.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Gather around, youngins, haven't you heard? We live on a flat plane and it's confirmed in his word. So pull up a chair, all that are able, to the humble and fervent ECF round table. We got Mississippi's finest, good old Anthony D. He specializes in the Targum and that serpent seed. But let's move along to the other main chair. It's none other than the one and only Vader Bear. He's the Nimrod expert, but before you ladies try to holla, he already belongs to his Princess Amidala. That's Francesca Jones, and she ain't alone. She's modded up, wrenched up with Wendy Moore. And verily, verily, we got darily, merrily, and love is your witness, sung by Frankie B. faithfully. And the Latter Day Saint, you don't want to miss him. Recently taking shots from Jeranism, but the Saint sidestepped another in-house schism. Petty Effie beef don't affect his singular mission. My man's focused like a deadhead stuck in federal prison. So sound the shofar, crack that Shabbat wine. It's enclosed cosmology round table time. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh my God,
Yo,
man.
that's right, bro.
Oh, that was good.
Hey, my girlfriend liked it too. Jackie loves it, bro. That's dope.
Seriously, I'm just inspired by you guys and the creativity and everything. I'm just like, yo, I gotta write some bars for the round table. So that's my blessing to
Nice,
all of
bro.
y'all.
Man,
Thank you, bro.
That was
That was great,
awesome.
Nick.
Wes
Hey,
plays
was
Yeah,
it,
that was good.
that was the one you posted to me, huh? A part of it, huh?
Yeah. I put up some bars about the Latter Day Saint because that kind of inspired me, and then I'm like, yo, I should just write a whole rap for the round
Yeah.
table and just hit him with it.
Nice, bro. Very good.
Yeah, that was
We'll get
awesome.
with you later, Saturday.
Oh man, that was
You
great.
get some crack for that.
Yes, sir, bro. Thank you.
Awesome. That was awesome. Well, thanks for joining us. Thank you for your blessing there. That was definitely enjoyable. But yeah, welcome, and let's kind of keep moving it, trucking along. We're kind of losing some time,
Absolutely.
so. Anyway, so I brought up that this is Anu is the father of not only Nergal but also of Ishtar. And so it's saying Anu is also the head of the Anunnaki, and created the demons, these ones. So, anyways, I just wanted to bring that up now. I'm gonna also pull up the wiki page for Anu. There's quite a bit of information. Um, but I want y'all to focus on this symbol right here. And we'll talk about it here in a little bit. We're going to continue on now. We talked about Ishtar a little bit. Now, here's the wiki page. We're not going to spend a lot of time. I just want to show you that that Ishtar is, again, if you remember, she's the daughter of Anu, but also the one who wanted. Um, Let me pull this back up. Give me a second. So, Gilgamesh um, has some relations with Ishtar, right? And we see that represented in other places. But I wanted to just kind of bring her up real quick. Now, just a side note, Ishtar, love, beauty. It's very interesting that that word Easter is so close to Ishtar. But that's a whole nother subject. And then it also talked about Nergal. This is the Mesopotamian god of death, pestilence, plague, and the lord of the underworld. Now, Gilgamesh comes directly um, into confrontation with Nergal in his travels to the underworld. That's another part of like the all the different epics. But I wanted to bring this up. I looked at this picture, and what's interesting, I just want to point out real quick, is you see this iconography of these symbols right here, and you actually see them repeated quite often within these different depictions. And I think that's very interesting. Even here, he's toting two sons. So very, very interesting. And then Nurgle. Now, last time we talked about this in the last episode in Nimrod about the Tower of Babel. And so, what I want to point out here is we see the Tower of Babel. Now, we know this is Nimrod, right? Nimrod made the Tower of Babel. When I look up the first depiction, we get this stone that we've reviewed last time. Now, does anyone notice anything about this?
I can't exactly
Oh,
see it.
I know. Those that can see. Does anyone notice anything about this? I know y'all are kind of the YouTube is a little lagged behind, so no, taking a second. But I'll kind of just
No, Nimrod is as tall as the Tower of Babel.
No, that's not. I don't really think that is really showing that. But this is what it's showing. Look at this. This is with those symbols highlighted. Look at this symbol right here and right here.
It looks like the puzzle pieces from our intro.
No, see this
No,
symbol? See this symbol right here? Tell me when you can see it on your side, Frankie. I switched pictures. Um, but this symbol right here is literally the symbol that we were just looking at.
can
It's
you blow it up?
this symbol right here.
Yeah, can you make it bigger?
Yeah, let me pull it back up over here. I don't know if I can make that
The one
picture
on the
bigger, but I'll
side, right?
try.
It's the one on the side. I can't see what it is.
It's literally that same symbol that we were looking at before, which is the symbol of the god Anu, which is the symbol of the god who is the god of the air, who is contributed to the same god as Zeus, that is known as the bull. Okay, and I want to pull this back up when we were talking about her. Gosh, I had these all marked in the space,
Oh,
but
there it
when
is. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
yeah, and then
That's that. Yeah, I got it.
let me see here. I think I can find a temple. Give me 1 second while I find this, because I had all these pages literally. Another interesting part, she was known as Queen of Heaven and was the patron goddess of Enema Temple, or Enea Temple, and that was also in the city of Uruk. Okay, and let's see here. Give me 1 second. That's her symbology, right? Eight-pointed star. And then she, right, is Aphrodite. Weird, right? We have some more crossovers here. And then pull this up. I'm trying to. Earlier on, I had pulled up a section where it's literally talking about her temple of Bel. Discovered. So just.
Yeah, and I think we're going to get into that in a lot more detail in the next episode too.
For sure, for sure. But can't find it now. But yeah, it was literally a temple to Baal that she was a part of. But then anyway, so moving on.
And speaking of that, please stay tuned to the end of this episode to get a little bit of a futuristic look into the next episode.
Not the next episode. The next episode will be a special episode, a guest episode, and then the following will be the third part to the man of many names. So but anyways, yeah, so connecting back that symbol to that same God we already talked about anew, we know that he is that God of the thunder, right? The God, he's depicted as having four wings. We know that angels in scripture are depicted as having four wings. We know the evil one is the Lord of the air, the same creature who this holy city is the same holy city of Gilgamesh. That holy city we know of Gilgamesh is Nimrod's city of Uruk the same. So I just wanted to show some more pictures before I kind of wrap this up. Now we see here a picture of Nimrod, Gilgamesh, whatever you want to call him, holding on to a lion as if it's like a kitten. We saw these parts back here with, let me pull this back up with her. We see Ishtar have a lion on a leash and standing on it. And then we have we go back here. And then here's another picture of Ishtar. She's standing on two lions. She has these winged legs. And then we also see these owls, right? And then if we kind of just jump back just again, we know that she's associated with love, beauty, sex, war, justice, and political power, which is really interesting when you consider, again, things like Bohemian Grove and the iconography there. And then let's just show this just one more time, or show this kind of finishing it up. Here, this is the Anunnaki bestowing upon some knowledge onto the regular humans. We got a kind of a size comparison here, and then we also again have these three symbols. Um, and very interesting when considered the black sun, the moon, and the sun. So I just wanted to share that as well. And then last but not least, I want to go back to here and pull this up. Okay, and in this is at the University of Sydney. We have a same picture of Gilgamesh holding him, and then I saw this part right here is really interesting, and it says ex, ex Existential angst during the aftermath of World War II significantly contributed to Gilgamesh's rise in popularity in the middle of the 20th century. For instance, the German novelist Hermann Kaysak used Dinku's vision of the underworld from the Epic of Gilgamesh as a metaphor for the bombed city of Hammenburg in his novel Die Stammt Hitler dem Strom.
Hey, Vader Bear, right quick, is there any possible way that you could pull up uh, the statue thing in Washington D.C. of what's called the Awakening with the two arms and
The
basically?
Awakening. Yeah, I can totally look it up. But bear with me for just a minute. So I just thought it was really interesting with the German. We know that the SS and the top Nazis were definitely into the occult and using this metaphor of the underworld, which is connected to again. Nurgle, the god of death, pestilence, plague, the lord of the underworld, in the war, because let me pull that back up because again we know that they were severely into the cult, and as I think our kind of final episode of this character, at least for now, um, I just think it's really kind of interesting to point out how he's attached, at least to a modern thing that we can associate with the occult. So, yeah, super interesting stuff, guys. I think there's so much more out there that I overlooked or didn't see. And there is a lot of more connections that we're going to get into that we have seen in the next one. But yeah, what were y'all's kind of thoughts of kind of the information I shared about the Epic of Gilgamesh and the different gods and their connections to one another?
What was I just talking about? I
You're talking about something the hands, the awakening.
Oh yeah, yeah. I wanted, if you can bring that up. I want to point out something about that.
I can definitely look for it. Statue.
I, while you're looking for it, what it looks like is this giant creature coming out of the cement, like right against the shoreline of a lake or something around Washington D.C. Um, but the statue itself is called the Awakening, and it is a direct representation of a rebirth of what you're talking about.
Hopefully y'all can see that. It's kind of a small picture, but y'all can get the gist of what he's talking about.
Well, that particular statue is called the Awakening, and it looks to me like some sort of a large creature is just coming out of the earth.
Yeah, like a giant almost.
Yeah, like out of the cement, sort of, or out of the lake or something. But basically, the what I'm wanting to bring up about that particular picture is that is in Washington D.C. right now. It's been there
Well,
for
I just
8.
read it. It said it did. They moved it to somewhere in Maryland. Um,
Oh, really?
it was bought, like someone bought it and then moved it onto private land.
Well, that's a
So,
new one on me.
yeah,
I
I'm just going from the picture thing that I was just reading. So,
Right, and it wouldn't surprise me. So, but anyway, it first appeared in Washington D.C. and there was a big put out about it. Shout out Rob Skiba for witnessing this for us in Washington D.C. Thank you, brother, for all the work that you've done. But anyway, back to that particular statue thing. It's called the Awakening, and it looks like it's coming out of the ground.
yeah, I showed the picture to everyone. They saw what you're talking about.
Right, but the whole thing about it is that's basically a representation of Nimrod coming out of the bottomless pit.
Totally. And that is definitely I'm excited to talk about. That's kind of a distant topic, but to sum up what I was trying to say about this is the Epic of Gilgamesh is one of the oldest known literatures out there. So it was found on those stones that I had shown at the beginning of the kind of uh, presentation. And so that in connection with Anu and the description of him with his party mate who was literally created by the gods and then destroyed by the gods, which then had Gilgamesh himself want to live immortality. And we went over it a little bit, but then you have him seeking out this immortality. He ends up not being able to obtain it. He is then told he is then told to go and seek out this plant that will get him immortal life. He goes to get this plant. Now, I actually didn't show that. I want to pull that up real quick, guys, before I show, because like I'm saying this and then I literally don't remember talking about it. So give me 1 second while I pull that up. But he literally.
How much time do we have left in this show? Because I want to bring up
No,
a
I
couple
no,
things.
I feel you, brother. Give me a second. I'm trying to pull this up, brother. So, we got about 20 minutes left. So, but I'm almost done showing what I was gonna show. Here we go. Let me pull this up right here. And then share screen. Okay, so right here, it says next this guy tells him that even if he can't obtain mortality, now go up and search this and read like him trying to get mortality. He says he can restore his youth using a plant with power of rejuvenation. When I saw this, I thought out not only what Sean has said, but also what to Wendy Moore has said is how what he did to himself was through alchemy, through like the cutting of roots and plants, which I think it really interesting that it adds this. But another interesting part about it says Gilgamesh takes the plant but leaves it on the shore while swimming, and a snake steals it and eats it, explaining why snakes are able to shed their skins. And then it says, despondent at his loss, Gilgamesh returns to Urk and shows his city to the ferryman, this name, and at the point the epic stops being a cohort narrative. But anyways, I just really wanted to show that where we're talking about another point where he's trying to obtain immortality. So yeah, so we looked over all these points where we see kind of these icons, these pieces in the story that kind of all point back to this same character. So hopefully I was able to kind of share that with y'all and kind of get my point across, and hopefully y'all can see those connections that I made. So. Other than that, yeah, well, let's kind of talk about general conversation and then get into what we're going to be talking in the next episode.
All right. Uh, well, I was hoping I'd have a little more than 15, 20 minutes to cover what I wanted to cover, but that's okay. We're definitely going to cover it a lot more uh, in the next episode of this particular topic. However, I do appreciate you bringing it up that we're going to have a special guest next weekend. Um, I just wasn't including that particular topic that we had brought up within this series that we're having. Um, However, there's a couple of things that I'd like to bring up about a lot of the things that you were talking about tonight. Uh, and I want to kind of point out how it refers to the pagan holiday that we're having coming up. And if anybody is like not ready to talk about this, that's cool. But I really do think that it should be sort of a warning to young parents or even parents in general. Why should we lie to our kids, our children? Why should we lie to them? Um, we're telling our children that Santa Claus is coming down a chimney on Christmas Eve, December 24th, that on December 25th, we get up, we get our presents, we go up and walk up to the Christmas tree and bow down to it to get a gift. Well, I definitely want to bring up this topic as sort of a warning for people that are basically lying to their children. Whether it's about Santa Claus or not, it's still a lie. And I've got so many notes on it that I'm going to bring up in next episode, since I don't have time to cover it all. But it does tell us that it's better to have a millstone tied around our neck and tossed in the sea than to lie to children. And I don't remember exactly where that's at right now. But folks, stop lying to your
Yeah,
children.
and yeah, and in the next episode, the reason why Anthony's kind of serious about this, and this isn't what we want y'all to first understand. Anyone that still is celebrating, that is, we still love you. You're still our brothers. You're still our sisters. We just kind of want to inform you on some kind of important things when it comes to that holy day, holiday. We don't. This isn't. We're not trying to cast shade at anyone. We're not trying to say you're a heretic. We're not even trying to say that you are participating in,
Right.
in pagan actual worship. Not, but there is a lot of information. There's a lot of things that are being practiced that does tie directly to occult practices. So hopefully we've showed you the Nimrod in the Bible, his type of attitude. We've showed you Gilgamesh and his type of attitude and tied that directly back, showing you that these are the same individuals. We know the holy city and the type of gods that he entertained. And so in episode 12, when we get into it, um, we will be connecting these all back to the same individual. So, um,
Actually, episode 13, but right quick, just like a quick summary of the next episode we have on this particular subject. Folks, take your Christmas trees, throw them in the yard, burn them. Do it. Just do it.
That's right.
It's just
Hey,
a fair.
also,
And
I want to say something real quick. Santa Claus is an anagram for Satan Lucas. I'm just saying, though.
I'm just saying though too.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. There's so many connections there, and to all of those that are still here that happen to listen to this later, whatever it is, like it is true. Like you shouldn't be doing these things, but we're telling you to throw that tree out in love because these are things that you really don't want to be a part of. Um, and you know what? It's a hard process. For some people, as an example, for my wife, it was hard for her to get over, especially Christmas. And it took some years of like really working it out to be able to 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 do that, to take those steps. And when she did, she found all of the appointed times within scripture, and they're so much more beautiful than anything that the world has to offer. So we would say throw away those things that attach to to pagan things, regardless of whether it's a pagan thing to you or not, and start looking to the scripture, to God's word, to find the days that you should keep holy. So anyways,
Yeah, and
go ahead, Anthony.
oh,
And,
can I
oh,
say something real quick, Dan?
go ahead, brother. Right.
No, I'm just saying real
My
quick. What
is
I
take
like to what
away.
I
Sorry,
didn't
brother.
hear you, bro. Oh no, no, this is it. This is it. I was just saying that I really like to lean in to the Christmas music. Well, not really the Christmas music, but like the really pure Yeshua worship music that comes along with the season, like songs like "Oh Holy Night." There's ones that are very pure, fervent worship, and
Right
if
quick,
you can, yeah, go
brother.
ahead, man.
I'd like to address that. I'm. No, I don't think any of us are saying not to worship Yeshua on that day. I don't think anybody's saying that. We should worship Him every day. Um, but we're definitely going to get into some of that in the next episode. But brother, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yes, some of those songs are very spiritual, very touching and loving. I agree with you right there. But it's those songs that here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. It's those type of songs that people get a catchy attitude for, and then all of a sudden they're brainwashed into that here comes Santa Claus.
Hmm.
But yes,
And
sir,
I
brother.
and I even, to be honest, dude, like regardless of what like I can find like beauty and see the Father in even secular stuff. I just try not put myself into it too much because I think it's like like compounding interest on your spirit when you let too much of any type
Well,
of worldly stuff in at a time. But
well, that's one of the things that I want to get into about being lukewarm. What does Yeshua say about being lukewarm? He would rather us be hot or cold. Do not sit on the fence. Do not be lukewarm, because those are the ones that he's got to spew out of his mouth. It's almost like, okay, well, these people believe in me, but I don't want to play with them on the volleyball court. You know, they love me, but I don't know them that very well. They were the mean kids in class, so to speak.
Yeah,
I think they were. I
yeah.
think also they were like the lethargic kids. You know, I think that when I hear about the lukewarm, I feel like it's the people at the store who know that they shouldn't be wearing masks and getting the J, but they go along with anyways because they care more about pleasing man than Yeshua. That's what I get out of it. I'm just saying though.
yeah, actually, I always say his name wrong. Uru from Glowbusters. He put out a thing like talking about how like they have control of 30% and 30% are awake, but there's 40% that will just go with the herd. And that like that's our job is to wake up the 40% and make us the herd, make them go along with us in truth as opposed to fear and enslavement. So that's why I love this type of place, this type of community that we have here, because, like, and why I think enclosed cosmology is such a is such a beautiful community to base around, is because I feel like with the knowledge of creation of not knowing everything, the shape, like our puzzle piece map here, there's pieces missing because we don't know, right? And but that being said, we can come together and talk about it, but have the foundation of truth, knowing, hey, we at least know that they lied to us, and if they can lie to us about something as big as the place we live and have this huge orchestrated lie and magician trick
Yeah, right.
illusion,
Shout
you know.
shout out to Busters. Much love to that group over there. Even though everything's getting a little conflicted lately, still shout out to y'all, and we still love you, brothers. Bob Nodell, I respect a lot of what they have done over there, even though we might have differences of opinions.
For sure. I'd still love to have
It's
Bob on
also
sometime.
Nimrod's birthday too, isn't it?
We're gonna get into
December
that.
25th.
We're gonna get into it.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
it's
let it out of the bag again.
no, so yeah, next episode, episode literally episode 12, will be
Another.
about Christmas and all the things associated and all the different stories tied to it. So we're super super excited about that. And shout out to Wes Blaze, thanks for joining us, brother, on Take on the World. It's always good to have you here. Hope you're doing awesome.
I
Um,
heard earlier, man. I hope he heard Nick with them bars, man.
oh
Shout out,
yeah.
man. You got some
Hey,
competition, brother.
hey, can I just say one thing real quick to Globe? If anybody from Globebusters is listening, I just want to clarify something real quick. I don't got no problems with Jake the A-hole. I don't got no problems with Jeranism or Karen B. I like all those people. They're all flat earthers. And check it out. If any of you guys are listening, I know we're a little show, but if any of y'all are listening, Jeranism, Karen B, RV, um, Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, Jake, whatever, I'll stop making songs about you guys when you guys stop talking shit about each other. That's all I gotta say. Sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. Much
Hey,
love to all y'all. You guys just gotta stop this beef. This is getting ridiculous. You guys divide and conquer. That's all I gotta say. I'll stop making. I won't ever say you guys' names again if you guys stop. I'll stop.
But that
Now,
empty beef, you're gonna turn into them Latter-day Saint steaks.
right?
Much
Awesome.
love to Jay
Much
Saint.
love to Glowbusters, though.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, we're getting close, guys. We only got a few minutes left, so we're gonna go ahead and start saying our goodbyes. I will go first, and then we'll go down the line, and we'll let Frankie call us out like normal. So, guys, thank you so much for coming and joining us. We had fun on this one. I hope you enjoyed it as well. We'd love for you to share this and let people know about this place. Please join us in the Discord. We always like having more people to talk to, more puzzle pieces to look at. The link is in the description for that. Again, I want to shout out to Chris and Liz. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to use your platform and reach out to your audience and share our puzzle pieces with them. We love you for that. And again, shout out to Sean from Kingdom and Context for giving us a shout out. You definitely helped us, brother. We definitely appreciated that. That brought us over 350. But we'd love to keep growing, guys. We'd love to reach more people again and get more puzzle pieces. So please please add us. Now, the next episode will be a special episode. We're going to be talking about a book, and we'll get put out a little bit before that episode airs. And then the following episode, actual episode 12, we'll be continuing this conversation that we kind of have built up, and that will be on the 25th. So get excited for that. But anyways, guys, Shabbat Shalom. Love you all deeply, dear brothers and sisters, and I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll throw it over to Anthony so that he can say his goodbyes. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, it's Shabbat Shalom to you, Vader Bear. I love how you keep expressing that episode 12, but I keep calling it episode 13 for a reason. Look, man, I want to shout out to a few people that listen to us quite frequently. Much love to y'all. April and let's see. I'm just going off the top of my head since I can't be on YouTube tonight, but oh man, I'm so sorry. Everybody's name is just escaping me, but I've seen some new names in the chats and stuff. Welcome to y'all, and we're so happy that you're here. And please share and comment and stuff like that. But I want to say I love you all, regardless if Nick and I have disagreements at times. He's still a dear brother, and I want everybody to look at everybody like that. When it comes to all these hit pieces that people are putting out on each other and still call them brothers, come to your brother. Go to your family and talk to them. Don't shy away and just put out a hit piece on them. Go to these people. We want to talk with you. But that being said, I want to say my goodbyes and much love to everybody and Shabbat Shalom. And it's a dear pleasure to be able to interact with everybody and kind of state some of my pieces and stuff like that. I have a lot of questions as well. We all do. Let's keep asking them, but let's also keep looking for the puzzle pieces to fill in the spaces. Let's not just be biased. And to the parents, I really hope y'all tune in to our next episode on this topic. But don't lie to your children. One of the worst things you can do. Much
Awesome.
love, man.
Yeah, much love. All right, Daryl Lee, you want to say goodbye to the folks?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm just glad everybody showed up and it was a good show. Thank you everybody and Shabbat Shalom. Looking for the next one. I guess it's on about the ghost of the Christmas deception. So yeah. Shabbat Shalom, y'all.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Daryl. Yeah, always loving having you here, brother. So, all right. Well, let's throw it over to FDS. Say your goodbye, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes Enclosed Cosmology. So until next time, bring on your whole family down here, subscribe today, and get a free banana. Much love to you guys, and ladies, don't forget your waters. I'm cracking up. Peace.
Awesome, bro.
Friday
Thank you
night. Killing it, baby.
for your humor
Yeah,
as other brother. We love it. Awesome. All right. Throw it over to you, Nick. Say your goodbyes to the people.
Yeah, just shalom, everyone. Blessings, peace, love, and like Anthony said, just we all got love on one another. And I just want to send prayers to whoever's affected by that terrible tornado in Mayfield, Kentucky. It looks like a bunch of people possibly perished last night, and they're kind of working out today. But we're just sending prayers of restoration and miracles right now for the people in Mayfield, Kentucky. And you know, like Vader said, just remember Abba loves you first. Frankie or Vader, I should say.
Awesome, bro. Appreciate it. Okay, before I throw it over to Frankie, I just have a couple of things I want to share real quick. These are comments from the last episode. White Wabbit Warrior said, "I don't know too much about Nimrod as I'm new to learning these writings. It appears to me most definitely that Dr. Ouchie has been communicating with some unclean spirits." Yeah, I totally believe all those type of people do. It says, "Thanks for a great show and sharing your perspectives. Much love." Yeah, that's all we're doing is just showing where we're at on our path with the Father. We totally reserve the right to be wrong, all of us. So, anyways, and then Brother Anthony, he said, "Sorry, we're running a bit late tonight. Yeah, we're having some issues, but thanks for all for joining us. Yeah, we're definitely blessed for y'all all that join us. We definitely appreciate that." So, and then
Hey, Greg,
Edward.
shout out to that White Rabbit Warrior. And I know I'm mispronouncing, but shout out to you, brother. It's a pleasure meeting you, brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Edward McPhail said to you, "Great theory of the 1/3 of the Tower of Babel becoming the dirt, the wet mud, the floods of Tartaria, the 1/3 again in the plain sight. Very plausible. I've seen about Jaff of Ewar stuff, a half, but it appears as it could lead people astray if not rooted in faith and immersed in Scripture. Thank you for tackling the subject, Shalom, brother, and have the rest of the crew." Awesome comment there, brother. And looks like we got another comment there from Anthony. And then let's see, Natalie Lang said, "I feel like he was stating the obvious: one language, one God. It can make people think about who was their master, their creators." Well, we know that people were praying to more than one God. That was a constant issue, and I don't know if God states the obvious. So I'm not opposed to that, but that's just my thoughts. And then it says, in other words, not Nimrod. Um, you kind of seem angry there, but it's okay. We all have our different perspectives. Much love. I definitely still do appreciate your comments, so thank you. But other than that, please, guys, we love when y'all give us comments. It really helps us. It really shares the video with more people. So please do so, everyone. It really helps. But anyways, I'm gonna throw it off to last but not least, Frankie B. Go ahead and say your goodbyes, and then call us out. Call the song out for us, please, sir.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. I hope you have a blessed week. The name of the song is Love is Your Witness. The band's name is Born Out of Time. So we just pray that you would continue to let your love be a witness of Yeshua in your life, for you are a living epistle. So always let your love shine. Let it shine on, baby. And enjoy your week. Be blessed.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom, shalom.
So
Shabbat,
until next time.
Shabbat Shalom.
Love is your witness. Love is your witness.
Love is your way.